And welcome back. The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is very concerned about the emergence of recent video evidence on social media platforms wherein truck drivers from Eswatini are subjected to cruel, inhumane and degrading treatment by citizens of the neighboring country, South Africa. Government has since taken the necessary measures in convening all national stakeholders to address this issue with the aim of forging a lasting solution. The government will also engage in earnest with its neighbours through diplomatic channels to revive a wholesome dialogue on all matters that are of importance to the two countries. Let's just quickly look at that video that has been doing the rounds on social media, and then after that we'll be in conversation with the Trade Minister of Eswatini.
Silbanganani obaba balwa belwelele lizwe sesilbanganani hayi sizo umhlaba uthu umuntu wakhe bamba usho baba ekhaya mntu kanjeni ekhaya Eswatini yeah uzoba right yazo silbanganani obaba balwa belwelele lizwe sesilbanganani hayi sizo umhlaba uthu umuntu wakhe bamba usho baba ekhaya mntu kanjeni ekhaya Eswatini yeah uzoba right yazo silbanganani obaba balwa belwelele lizwe sesilbanganani hayi sizo umhlaba uthu.
Well, that's one of the videos that have been doing the rounds. The Minister of Trade in Eswatini now joins us on the line, Manqoba Khumalo. Thank you so much for making time for us, Minister. First of all, when did the government of Eswatini become aware of such incidents?
Thank you very much, Aldrin. Thank you for hosting us. We first became aware of this in the middle of the week, last week. But as the week progressed, we saw more videos of this nature. And that is why the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is extremely concerned with this level of unwarranted violence on our truck drivers that are doing cross-border trade between Eswatini and South Africa.
What do you read into these incidents? Because this is not the first time that we've had truck drivers in South Africa coming under attack, especially those who are foreign nationals.
We read a number of things. The first one being it is really violence, and that's how we interpret it. And we believe strongly that such violence is, my second point, steeped in a lack of understanding of how cross-border trade works and what value it brings end to end. So, the second, deduction we are making in Eswatini is that there is a need for education amongst citizens of all countries in the region of why we have cross-border trade, and the fact that when people move from one country to another ferrying goods, the downstream effect in the value chain is beneficial for long-term and sustainable job creation. The third element is that the fact that we need to work better as governments to engage all the stakeholders so that we can curb and collaborate in curbing such violent actions. Mm-hmm. The fourth thing that we learned is as Africa is on a quest to liberalize trade, I think we have not done a great job of making our citizens understand that in actual fact, it is a good thing when you have cross-border trade.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it borders on the lines of xenophobia or Afrophobia, or could it just be a case of desperation also on the end of South Africans?
All of the above. in my view, Aldrin. I think we are very aware of, the stress of unemployment amongst, our citizens in the region, and it is not something that is exclusive to South Africa, but it is a challenge that all governments have to, attend to. However, what I think is missing is this understanding that such actions, such violence, such animosity is actually going to exacerbate the problem of unemployment. Because if you dissuade cross-border trade, you're actually creating a whole lot of unemployment that we should be avoiding. So I think it is really a question of cause and effect. Yes, there is an element of xenophobia. Yes, there is an element of desperation. But I think the biggest element is really a lack of appreciation on the people concerned. And if you may allow me to indulge in a wider conversation, in Eswatini, we have a whole lot more South African trucks and South African drivers coming into our country than we have Eswatini drivers going into South Africa. So the balance is very much in South Africa's favor, and the jobs that are created by the downstream effect of whatever goods the Eswatini truck drivers are carrying into South Africa is a creation of jobs in South Africa as beneficiation takes place, and the reverse is also true in Eswatini. So if you then put barriers to trade such as violence, you are really precipitating an unsustainable level of unemployment.
Have you raised this with the South African government as yet?
Yes. Our Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our Ministry of Labour is having bilateral conversations at the appropriate levels to look at how we can collaborate to address this. You rightly said earlier that this is not the first time this is happening. So it really points to the fact that our two governments have to continuously work on understanding how this can be addressed and addressed sustainably. We are also aware that Eswatini is not the only country that suffers, the brunt of this desperation, as you called it. But at the same time, as a country, we have realized that, the video that you've played just tells the entire story. We cannot sit back and just allow this to happen without us, raising our concern and seeking a resolution.
What about private companies, the companies themselves that employ these truck drivers? And I know that I'm asking this question also on the basis of experience here in South Africa, that you do find companies who hire foreign nationals instead of hiring South Africans because there is the potential to exploit.
Well, we do not have evidence that the cases that you highlighted are as a result of that. We have spoken to the victims in Eswatini, and we are really saddened to say that that scenario that you've just outlined was not the root cause in this particular case. I think there is an indiscriminate targeting of Eswatini drivers who might be on legitimate business driving from Eswatini to deliver goods in South Africa. So one would also hope that the government of South Africa will advise aggrieved citizens of rightful avenues to seek as redress for any kind of labor practice that is deemed to be adversarial to the labor market in South Africa. But we don't believe that violence is one of the solutions.
Thank you so much for your time, Trade Minister in Eswatini, that is Manqoba Khumalo.